for 5 minutes or Anthony William, the medical medium. For the people out there that don't sleep good, that only get 2 hours or 3 hours of sleep because of pain, worry, anxiety, or panic attacks, or just stress, or for the people that get 5 hours of sleep and they need more, or they feel like they need more, or even 6 hours of sleep, or rough sleeping, where it's just really rough, it's up and down, it's scattered, you're only sleeping for a half an hour, then you're sleeping very light, then falling back asleep again, feeling groggy in the morning, tired in the morning, and not good. There's something very important to understand, especially when people are dealing with insomnia. Something very critical to understand, that you can still heal, you can still recover, even when you're struggling with sleep problems. I know that many of you guys probably heard this before, but you'll hear like 8 hours of sleep is required, or 10 hours of sleep. And then you hear influencers out there say, I slept for 12 hours every night, or I sleep for 14 hours. And then you're thinking, well, I'm sleeping 4 hours because I don't feel good. I have insomnia. I have OCD. I have racing thoughts. My heart's racing all night long. Or I have an AFib, or I have heart palpitations or something. Or I feel my pulse beating. And how am I going to heal if I'm only getting 4 hours of sleep, or 6 hours of sleep, or even 7, when I'm hearing people are getting 12 hours of sleep? And it's difficult when you hear that, when someone's getting 12 hours of sleep and they're saying, I need 12 hours. That's when I feel at my best. And it makes another person who only gets 5 hours of sleep feel like they're probably not going to be at their best. The body works in a way where it's not just about sleep. It's not just about being in a deep slumber in order to heal anything. It's more to that. Resting the nervous system is a powerful way to recover, even when you're not sleeping enough. There are people out there, and you may be one of them, that only gets about 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And then the next night you get 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And then the next night you get 2 to 3 hours again. And it's a rough ride. And you know people like family or friends, and they're sleeping great, and they're not dealing with any problems with their sleep. And you feel like you're an outcast, or you feel like you're not normal. Like, why can't I get any sleep? But it's critical to know that if you rest the nervous system, you can still heal until eventually you get the sleep that you need. So resting the nerves, how do we do that? It's about closing your eyes, laying there, in bed if it's in the middle of the night, or in the early morning hours. And you lay there, and you tell yourself that you're resting your nerves. You close your eyes, and you envision your central nervous system. And you envision your central nervous system resting. It's shutting down. You're shutting down without having to sleep. This way, when you do that, your nervous system, it doesn't need sleep when you shut down and rest the nerves. It doesn't need sleep to heal and get stronger. even if you're just resting your nerves for 10 minutes, if you have enough moments in time where you rest your nerves for 5 minutes or 10 minutes at a time, it can be really powerful. So during the day, you can actually rest your nerves where you lay down and close your eyes and just let everything shut down and rest the nerves for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you do this multiple times, you can restore and your body can start healing neurological problems and neurological symptoms. It can give your immune system the strength it needs. I know a lot of people fight their way through a hard night, a rough night. They get anxiety, they get angry, they get up, they pace, they go and they eat something, they try to go back to bed, they try to get comfortable. And a lot of people who end up staying up at night when they don't want to and they're laying there, they start hearing noises inside their own body. They hear their pulse beat, their heartbeat. They feel their heart. They feel their blood pressure. They feel spasms on their legs and on their arms. They feel weird sensations, strange sensations. They're laying there and they can hear their own body gurgling, their intestinal tract gurgling and moving. A lot of people who get really hypersensitive and they don't get the sleep they need anymore and they're dealing with insomnia or some kind of sleep disturbance end up hearing their stomachs gurgle, their gut gurgle, their intestinal tract gurgle. They end up feeling their food moving through them, especially if they're really hypersensitive and their food is pushing through their intestinal tract. It's leaving the stomach and dropping out of the stomach into the duodenum, and they feel it and they hear it gurgle and they feel it moving, and it keeps them up, and then their anxiety starts and they're up for hours. And then they are all of a sudden wide awake, even though they know they're really, really exhausted. It's the perfect time to rest the nerves. Perfect time to not get angry about it, to not be sad about it. You might be thinking when you go through this that it's like another night of this. But if you lay there and you say, okay, well, this next 10 minutes, I'm going to rest the nerves. I don't need to sleep. I don't need to fall asleep. I just have to heal the nerves by resting them and shutting everything down and shutting the nerves down. Even if your brain is racing and thoughts are happening and your thoughts are in the way, you're able to still just focus on resting the nerves, even if your mind is thinking about other things right after that. It doesn't matter. You're telling your nervous system you're going to shut it down. You're going to rest your nervous system. And your nerves will actually start to heal, because most problems people are suffering with is the nervous system, is the central nervous system. So when the central nervous system is being cared for like this, you're healing it even without the sleep. Now, you might feel groggy the next day because you only slept 2-3 hours. You might feel groggy the next day because you only slept 5 hours or 6 hours when you feel like you needed 8. But that's okay. It doesn't mean you're not healing. It doesn't mean that your immune system and your central nervous system is not healing, because it is. And a lot of people with chronic illness, and you guys know best, a lot of people with chronic illness, because you're on Mattress Island a lot and you're on Couch Island a lot, and this is such an important point. This is such a critical point right here. Because you're on Couch Island and you're on Mattress Island, it's sometimes harder to sleep at night. It's sometimes harder to take naps during the day. because you're doing a lot of resting anyway while you're healing. So it makes it sometimes more difficult, where it's hard to just get a 8-hour night's sleep or a 10-hour night's sleep or even a 5-hour night's sleep for a lot of people, because you're laying around a lot during the day because you're working on your healing and you have the neurological symptoms and you're struggling with those neurological symptoms. Just know in your heart and in your soul that you are healing when you're resting the nerves, even if you're not sleeping good. And you can be somebody that's getting 8 or 10 hours a night and you have chronic fatigue syndrome. You don't feel good. You're dealing with all kinds of different symptoms. You got tightness in the chest. You feel like your arms and legs are really heavy. You're getting tics and spasms. And you're still sleeping a lot because you're tired all the time. You got severe chronic fatigue and you're tired all the time and you're sleeping a lot. But you feel like you still can't function and you still can't move out of these symptoms. You still need to rest the nerves. You still need to take time out during the day where you're laying there, you're shutting things down and you're saying, I'm shutting things down and I'm resting the nerves. And then there's people with chronic fatigue that are so dead tired all day long. They're so exhausted, but they can't sleep. They're dragging, their legs feel like lead. They have brain fog, they can't function, and they still can't sleep at night. And they're telling their doctors and their friends and their family, I'm so tired. And they hear back from their family and their doctors and their friends, why don't you just sleep? If you're so tired, just sleep it off. Just get rest. Or they hear a loved one or a family member say, just rest up. And you're like, I am resting up. I'm trying to rest up, but I can't seem to sleep all the time. Like, I'm tired. I can't function. I feel like I need sleep, but I can't sleep. When that happens, it's time to rest the nerves again. You can do it every hour where you rest them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can lay there on your bed, on a couch, on the floor, anywhere you want, or sitting up in a chair if you're somebody struggling where you have to sit upright in a chair or on a couch. You can still rest your nerves. Relax your arms. Even if you're in pain or you're having spasms or twitches or some kinds of tingles and numbness or sensations, you can still just relax the best you can and say, I'm shutting everything down. Even if your mind's racing, just I'm shutting everything down and I'm going to let my nerves heal, because I can heal even if I don't get a lot of sleep. I can heal and restore my nerves and move forward and heal, and someday I will be out of these symptoms. And the stronger you get, and the healthier you get, and the stronger you get as you're recovering, you'll start to sleep and sleep more and more and more. And if you're somebody that you're sleeping fine and you're still struggling with symptoms and conditions like a lot of people do, resting the nerves is a great way to recover faster and stronger. I just wanted to run some of that by you guys, because there's so many people that struggle with neurological symptoms, and resting the nerves is one of the most powerful tips. Very powerful, very healing. It's easy to do too. Anyway, take one day at a time. Keep up all the healing. Know that I care. Love you guys.